the challenge that Frederick was facing was very similar to the challenges that districts across the United States are facing. We saw that our teachers and our administrators were working very, very hard to raise student achievement, and we just weren't seeing the movement that we wanted. It prompted us to really start thinking about how much did we really know about how learning occurred as a district, and were there some ways that we could lean in and learn more that might be of benefit to our teachers and our students.
The teachers.
We have about 48,000 students, about 70 schools. And learning science is in the fabric of every single thing we do.
So you don't think these belong at all? Okay.
This put our entire school system on the same page. It's not just about individual schools doing something great. It's about every school doing great things, and it's about our central office teams supporting great learning and great teaching.
We did a lot of work thinking about what conditions might be necessary for students to be academically successful. And then we really shifted our focus to think about what strategies are actually going to be able to make sure that every student is engaging in the learning.
Go ahead and start your warm-up.
The initial strategies that we focused on as a district were aligned to retrieval practice.
So it's not just your sentence. I want to see everything. I want to see what you know about
So
place value.
one of the things that I think students experience more frequently is the opportunity to retrieve information that they've learned previously.
We are going to go over number 1. I think that it's important for all of our students to understand how their brain works, and the fact that if I teach you something once and don't come back to it and you don't understand, you're not a failure. We haven't set your brain up for success.
To show that you know how to solve the problem.
And we also focused on prior knowledge, how to make sure that students knew where to apply it so that new learning could stick.
Now let me ask you a question. Have we heard the word claim this year? Absolutely, right?
And on effortful thinking to make sure that every single student was getting the opportunity to think deeply and effortfully about the big ideas in the curriculum.
But I want you to put your thoughts about the word claim on your paper.
They'll be forced to justify their thinking, and they'll also have experiences where teachers don't let them off the hook.
Let's take that apart. What do you mean of the question?
The main, the point.
That's one of the things we're most proud of, is those moments where the teacher asks the question and then actually probes deeper.
It's like what the story is mainly about.
When I think about how I taught and assessed at the beginning of my teaching career, where I would hear a few responses and I'm like, oh, they got it. I killed it today. Take a couple minutes and answer the 3 questions on your paper. But I'm like, well, they got it. Do I know that everybody got it? I can't just get a vibe that everybody got it. It needs to be more concrete.
Okay, and why did you move Jake back over here?
The shift to learning science made me realize that there are children sitting in classrooms, nodding and being what looks like an engaged learner, but not actually participating in the learning. And that it was my job to get every student participating in the learning. And in order to do that, you have to make that a little more visible, and you have to make them a lot more accountable.
Okay, I like the way you're thinking. What would you add?
It's really taking the package that you already deliver every day to your students and making minor tweaks in it. We're not telling you like this is the plan, this is a model, this is a formula. It's not like that. It's really enhancing what you already do.
Today we're doing memory retrieval.
The science is always important because in any profession, we want to be based and grounded in our evidence. But we're also very careful to consider the experience, expertise, and professional judgment of the teachers. Because research can't tell us how to teach. It can give us some clues and some suggestions.
Do you agree that it is both the circulatory and respiratory?
While we can't directly say that learned science practices were the sole key indicator. What we do know is that we had gaps before we introduced it, and when we introduced it, those gaps were starting to be eliminated and closed.
And so over the course of a decade, we were able to change the trajectory of our teachers' learning and our leaders' learning, and as a result, change practices in classrooms.
Fantastic. All right, we're gonna talk about our next problem.